So I don't like to talk a lot about things I don't really like because I feel that, you know, it's generally just not very helpful. It doesn't help me. It generally just puts me in a worse mood. And by I say talk, I mean obviously talking to myself because that's really when I talk. But it puts me in a worse mood. It gets me into arguments. It just kind of sucks. But after putting around 80 hours of my life into Legendary Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel, I need to let loose. I need to be angry. I for all I've seen is that people love this game. How? Trails of Cold Steel was recommended to me on Twitter by someone who said, if you like JRPGs, play this game. And um, surprise, surprise, I like JRPGs. I mean, Persona 3 is like my second favorite game ever. Yakuza 7, beautiful, incredible game. That was probably my favorite too. So I was figuring, I'd like to get more into the genre outside of Persona, which is and Shin Megami Tensei, which is generally where I go to. So I figured I'd take a suggestion, and it was on sale for 40% off, so I tried it. I did think it looked very bland, which is absolutely true. I mean, before I played that game, I thought Dragon Quest was the absolute like asset basics indie not indie game. Why did I say that? JRPG, but that's mostly just the Seinfeld effect working against it, and I've explained this like probably 10 plus times in like the past year or so. If you don't know what the Seinfeld effect is, look it up. Then you can use it in every conversation you ever have, like I do. Um, but anyway, I started off enjoying the game. Then it just got worse. Every single hour I played it. First, I was like, you know what? This is kind of like the Star Wars prequel. It has some bad dialogue, uh, but it's a fun time. And then it just evolved. It just got worse and worse and worse. I guess comparison to Star Wars prequels is a good place to start because it's actually a lot like those, but even less effective somehow. So first off, yeah, as I said, the dialogue is quite bad. Um, it's not very little of it's like written how regular people would talk, and it just feels so unnatural, so just and kind of like Star Wars prequels, just but even worse than Star Wars prequels is the way it handles political messages. It's like it takes place in like a medieval kingdom. Well, kind of. It's like modern medieval. Uh, it's strange. And they have like a caste system there, and the whole thing's like, ooh, maybe we should listen to the rich people and the poor people both, because as you know, the answer's always somewhere in the middle. Compromise, guys. Yeah, it's just it was. Oh my gosh, it was mind numbing because the poor, the regular people be like, maybe the nobles feasting on red wine and braised chicken every day while we're starving in the streets isn't such a good idea. But then the nobles were like, well, sometimes people say mean things to us. So this, and then the game was like, yeah, that's about equal, which is very representative of centrists in America. So I guess the game, if you look at it from a very existential way, is kind of decent political piece, but only if you dissect it and make fun of the game and say that the game is aware of its centrism, is making fun of centrists through it. But I don't think the game's intelligent enough to do that, given the way the dialogue is written and the themes and everything. Anyway, that just going starting off in a military academy. I mean, look, I've said it many times. The U.S. Army. If you're watching this video, close it right now because or mute it. Anyway, I've dodged the draft. You can unmute. I don't, well, saying that wouldn't change anything. Anyway, um, so yeah, the setting just did not at all interest me. It's medieval. Uh, I plan on making some art videos eventually about what I like in art. But anyway, medieval times just are the worst things to ever happen to anything, in my opinion. It just bores me. And all of the characters look like just, you know, base when you open Unity anime character. And it just had like all okay. Next part I want to talk about is the conflicts between the characters because this happens a lot. There are basically every chapter of the game there'd be two people are fighting over a conflict with each other's pasts. What's going to happen? Or in the first chapter is even dumber heterosexual nonsense as I called it initially on Twitter. Anyway, it's just like let's manufacture reasons for two people to fight to make the plot move, even if it just drains the life out of the person playing. It's like, oh boy, noble and commoner are angry at each other, even though the commoner's complaints are totally valid. The noble, is rich. It's just, oh, Jesus, just mind numbing. Every single time, especially later got in the game, they just had to find new ways to introduce conflict because it wouldn't be entertaining if everyone were friends. And that's just an idiotic take. It's a brain dead take. Like play Persona 4. It's my response to that. Sometimes people can just be friends. They don't need to be fighting. You can have complex friendships and relationships without them being toxic. I mean, please come on. But once again, expecting anything better from the game is stupid. Positivity break. Something I like about the game, the battle system. The battles were very good. I enjoyed the system. The Orbital system, I mean, it's stupid Star Wars buzzwords. They have to come up with new names for measurements, new names for common technologies just because, it's not sci fi if they don't. It's like death sticks in Star Wars. Just call them cigarettes, dude. Like they call measurements like Argay or something. It's like, huh, yeah, I am. And then next, it's just like, dude, just call them feet, okay? Like, not feet. I don't even know if you saw that, but like, the meters if you're from an intelligent place. Um, I mean, come on. It's just stupid. Okay, I took a positivity break and was immediately angry. Anyway, gosh, the battles just feel good. Also, the game has a built-in speed up button, which is very funny because it allowed me to just blow past a lot of the very bad dialogue, but also allowed me to speed up battles and make grinding just totally fine and made it all just feel good. So I guess there was that. That was a great thing. The speed up button is something that should be in all JRPGs and made the battles actually quite good. However, the boss battles were the worst I've ever played just in a video game. I'm not joking. I don't often play bad games, so this is the new benchmark for worst boss battles like I've ever played. It's truly horrendous. It's just absolutely horrible. Um, I fought at least four because I wasn't counting initially bosses that what they did is they put my party to sleep and then one hit me. They stunned my party and they one hit me. They just did anything they could to inhibit the movement of my party and then killed them all. Just not good game design. It's not clever. It's just horrible. It really, I wondered on Twitter multiple times, did anyone test this? Who thought this was a good idea? It's just vile. It made me. I wasn't even angry. I was just surprised. I was blown away that this game that people think it's good. This game isn't good. That's when I really started realizing, like, freaking Nosferatu. This game's not good. This game's not very good. On one hand, it's like, wow, Laura's dad's a DILF. On the other hand, it's like, this game's not very good. Why am I playing this? This is this is a 5 out of 10 at best. Now I'm sitting at more like 3 out of 10. Anyway, next, just plot stuff. This is going to be spoilers, but honestly, who cares? I don't even remember most of what happened. Yeah, it was just bad political commentary. But at the end, what I had just played, I quit the game after seeing this without finishing it and uninstalled it. The main villain was revealed to be, my favorite character, which I already had spoiled. I was like, yeah, he's the smug, lovable asshole. He's my favorite. That's just how things are. Akiyama, bam. But like Crow was my favorite. I already got spoiled that he was the villain. But like in Persona 5, hate to bring it up, Persona 5 spoilers, just as yeah, no, I'll say Persona 5 spoilers, skip ahead 30 seconds. Just giving people time. In that game, they labor very hard over Akechi and how he's the traitor. Um, like him or not, there's a process of them figuring out why it's him. Um, Spoilers over for some reason, if you can tell. Um, in this game, within 10 seconds, they figure out who it is. They're like, oh wait, oh I get it, it's Crow. And they're like, oh wait, Crow's probably gonna K word the Chancellor. And then 10 seconds later, Crow K words the Chancellor. And then 10 seconds later, Crow has robots marching in the streets. Because who knows why? And then there's like the magical lady chants into the radio and makes a portal. Because plot. It's all just it's a MacGuffin quest of buzzwords. MacGuffin is also a buzzword that I use, but whatever. I'm not above it anymore. Not ever playing that game. It just made me brain dead. The plot suddenly went from taking hours to get anywhere for menial stuff to moving through some of the most important events in the game in under a minute. It was horrible. I just had to laugh, and then I closed the game because it was so bad it wasn't worth finishing, even though it's like 90% done. I could have sat there and finished the game, but it wasn't worth my time. I spent $23 on the game and put 80 hours into it, and I'm not going to finish it. I uninstalled it. It's no longer on my hard drive. Okay, finally, I want to talk about characters. First off, Gaius, I'm going to save you. I'm going to get you out, baby boy. I'm going to free you from that freaking Gaius. If you're in there, I'm going to get you. Anyway, yeah, Gaius is the greatest boy of all time. I wish he wasn't in such a bad game. Uh, Reen, he's the main guy. I like Laura. She has a really big sword. They should have made her way more jacked, though. I think that would have been really cool. Also, the fact they just gave her like a confession scene in the garden with with Fee, that was an interesting play. But things I know it wasn't even that because the only time they mention gay people in the game are to make fun of them. And they also had to do the creepy old man joke many times. Also, like do really weird incest stuff with like the main character. The main character is adopted into the family, and the sister who's biological is like into him. So it's like no, they're not biologically related, but it's extremely creepy and weird. It just makes me so uncomfortable. It's horrible. That was another like point off the game for me. So now like we're sitting at like 3 out of 10. Anyway, something you notice playing game. Wow, like Elisa, she's a cool character. I like her. Why? She's Yukari from Persona 3. Every plot point. I'm gonna issue Persona 3 spoilers for like a minute, let's say. That might be generous. Anyway, I want to say blanket statements about both characters. Dead Dad is I guess sorry, is the popular girl, is the main one advertised to be the romantic interest for the main character. Has a dead dad, has issues with their mom. Dad was I guess I had a parent that was an important figure in some sort of technological thing, but I guess that one's maybe a little bit nitpicking. They both have a scene where at an important gathering, they leave the main room in which someone has to tell the main character to go after them, and then they go out and have a deep conversation about their parents before being interrupted by everyone coming out, and then they get embarrassed because everyone's looking at them out there together. Yeah, that one applies to both, believe it or not. If you unmuted for some reason, extend spoiler warning. Their character arcs they're also just kind of both the the cool sassy one. Um, they both like get flustered easily. They're both just mean. I do like that, and I like both these characters. It's just that the only reason I like Elisa is because I like Yukari, and she's just Yukari too. It's really stupid. If I keep talking, I'm gonna die. Um, so conclusions. Charles Goldsteel is not very good. I hate to say it, I put 80 hours and $23 into that game, and it's not good. It's not a good game. For my final rating, for a while I was going to give it a 5. That's before I noticed all the incest and creepy old man stuff. And before tonight, I'm not even gonna finish the game. I'm gonna give it a 3. Trails of Cold Steel is a 3 out of 10. I wish I never played it. I bought Bug Fables at the same time. Bought Batman Dark Knight at the same sale. Uh, I'm so excited to play Bug Fables now. That game just seems like a cute game that doesn't try to be some grand adventures. It doesn't look, well, I guess it is just kind of a Paper Mario clone, but it looks good at what it does. That looks like a good game. I played a little bit of it. It feels like a good game. Batman, of course, those games are beloved. I can't wait to play a good game after this. One more final thought. Maybe the reason I didn't like the game is just because I came off playing Anodyne 2. I plan on making a game on, or making a video on why Anodyne 2 is the greatest video game ever made, and it will be like, well made, and it will have structure, and won't just be rambling. It will have a gameplay to show stuff, and I'll be streaming on Twitch to get that gameplay. That'll be happening sometime within the next 6 months. Ooh. Within the next year, I'll say that. But I came off playing Anodyne 2, which was this incredibly artistic, touching experience that was so chock full of literary meaning and everything. I could sit there and analyze that game all day. It was the perfect video game. And I played this. And it was a popcorn game made for cheap laughs and cheap enjoyment. And it was horrible whiplash, and I had a horrible time with the game. Well, not all horrible. I had fun with a lot of it, but I don't think it's a good game. Anyway, there you go. The same review of Trails of Cold Steel. That game's a freaking 3 out of 10. Do not play it. Go play Yakuza instead. Go play Yakuza. Play Anodyne 2. Play Anodyne 2. Enough people are playing Yakuza now. Yakuza's like getting mainstream now. I'm on my knees. I'm begging you. Play Anodyne 2.